SATV presents.
Hello and welcome to Salem Access Television's election night coverage. I'm Mike Allen, host of Inside Salem. I've done this show, this election night thing for many years now.
Long time.
Joining me this year for the first time, Josh Turiel, former Ward 5 City Councilor. Welcome.
Thank you. This ought to be a fun evening. It's going to be
Yes.
really interesting stuff coming up.
Yes, yeah.
Polls are closed. Oh,
Yeah.
and yep, the message has gone up on the spreadsheet
Okay.
with the.
Okay, and we hope this year, we had some glitches in the past. We hope this year that we'll be able to better view the whole spreadsheet with the name of the person as well as the numbers. What was happening in prior years is that when we put a number in someplace, if it was, in one of the higher wards, we'd lose the name and it'd just lose track of what the numbers were going to. This year, it looks like it's going to be a little different, and hopefully that will alleviate that problem. And also, one other time in the past, we had some audio issues, which I think they got corrected as well.
Well, hopefully they can hear us. But so this will, to start off with, we'll give a little shout out to Dustin Luca, who is as most of you know, he spent many years as the Salem News's Salem reporter, covering Salem News, covering the city council and elections and all the like. And for a number of years, he's been running a spreadsheet that he posts that he updates live with the help of a couple of friends. So as the results are coming in and get texted to him, they will get put up here on this sheet. So we'll have live results pretty much as they happen. I'll make a couple of predictions right now, Mike.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to predict that Mayor Pangallo wins a full term.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
bold one, I know.
That's right.
But,
That's right.
and I'm going to predict that Andy Varela wins another term in Ward 7.
Okay. Well, she's pulling out the muscle there.
Yeah, well, I like to take chances here with my predictions. So those two are
wait a second.
unopposed. So
Wait, I'm missing something here. Oh, I see. Hang on.
your sticker.
There we go.
I left mine at home. I'm sorry.
There we go. Now I feel complete.
Yep.
And I hope all of you people out there did that as well.
Yeah.
Voted.
We'll find out what those turnout numbers are in a little
Yeah.
while, but I'm kind of eagerly awaiting getting these tapes in.
Yeah. You had said that you thought that the turnout was going to be pretty solid.
I've seen I've seen online a few people reporting in where they were in the count when they got to a particular point, and it looks fairly solid. I think they had a couple of hundred in one precinct 2. Yeah. Which is pretty good in that I'd like to see them get around the 300-400 mark, but that's pretty uncommon.
Right, yeah, they usually have a low turnout.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're over 100, 150 or so, they're doing okay.
Yeah,
and I always want to see more, but that's kind of indicative. I think they were in the high triple digits in 1-1.
Okay.
I know when I voted in 5-2, late morning, there was I think number like 120 or so, and it picked up a lot from there.
Right.
My wife did check where she was when she went. But
the two times are before 9 in the morning and
the
after
big rushes.
5 at night. That seems to be the times.
Yeah, and
on the way to work or on the way home from work.
And some of it too, and we were talking about this beforehand. It's a little. We still have a citywide race that draws a little bit of interest, even though we don't have an opposed candidate for mayor. We don't have a ward race in Ward 7, but still, we have 5 at-large councilors for 4 seats, which is still really low. Yeah. But it's still it's
but
5 serious. They're 5 serious contenders.
All credible candidates. In fact, all of them are currently city councilors.
Yeah, and also if you take a look at the at the ward councilor race, you have 5 of the 7 are going to be new seats this year.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
We have a challenger. We have a challenger in Ward 1, and that's going to be really interesting to see when that comes in.
Yeah.
And then Wards 2 through 6 are all turning over this year.
Right, but again, it's sort of interesting because again, in Ward 2, one of the candidates had served on the city council.
Yeah, with me
and
for 3 years.
And then and again in Ward 4, again, one of the candidates had been the former Ward 4 city councilor.
Then he spent 2 terms out, and I was looking to get back in.
So I think, I mean, to me, this race is a lot about getting out your vote. I mean, it always sort of breaks down to that. But in high turnout times, you get accidental votes. But in this one here, I think it's really incumbent upon each of the candidates to turn out their voters.
Also say one thing, whether or not it's a question that other people can answer whether that's good or bad. The higher the turnout numbers, the more progressive the Salem vote tends to go.
Okay.
And I've seen that lower turnout elections tend to be less disruptive in that sense.
Okay.
Higher turnout ones, pretty much anything can happen. So we'll see. We usually get our highest turnout in mayoral races, but this one's a little different. So unlike almost every other community around here, we don't have one.
Right. Yeah. But but the other communities have gone through it as well. I mean, the Peabody mayor has run unopposed, or in effect,
or semi-unopposed.
Yeah. I mean, we've had, Mayor Driscoll had a candidate, I think every single time, but several of the times it was
not particularly credible.
Not particularly credible.
The last two were, real, actual, financed, well-known challengers.
Right. Yes.
And then. She's off to Boston, but
yeah. But
oh, did we break something?
No, ignore me.
So let's see. Anything in here yet?
Actually, I'm a little surprised that something hasn't come in yet.
Tapes start to come usually pretty quickly, but let's see.
It seems like last time we had the first results about 5 past, but
well, it's all on the tapes.
Yeah, clearly, you do have a large race, and that's citywide. But if in all the wards, with the exception of 7, there is a ward race. But a lot of times, like someone would be wanting to, I really want to support this school committee member, or I want to support, and so they go out to vote for that person, and then they vote across the board for different things. So you lose a little bit of that, and we have had, reasonably weak turnout the last few elections. So we'll see. We have good weather today. It's seasonally warm, seasonally cool, but there's no rain,
no wind, no heavy wind, nothing like that.
Yeah.
One other thing that I'm going to be really interested to see, especially when it comes to the at-large races, is how many people blank.
Okay. Yeah.
That's really going to be. That's going to kind of say something, because I know there are people who don't always use all 4 of their votes.
Correct, yeah.
They'll only vote for 1 or 2 that they support, or 3, or their bullet. And it's not that common, but it happens enough, and it can kind of skew numbers. And if you look at some of the results we've had and how close some of them have been, we've had recounts. We had a recount before my time. We had a recount in Ward 4.
Yeah.
In 2011, we had a tie for the last spot in the at-large race in the prelim.
Right.
And that one between the 2 Matts at that point.
Yeah.
And they wound up just agreeing to both be on there, so they had 9 candidates, and who knows what that could have done to the actual result in the end.
Right. Yeah.
Having those additional people on there who did draw votes.
Right. Yeah.
We had recount in Ward 6 in 2013.
Yeah.
And then we had the 1-vote election.
Yes.
Of 2019.
And then we had.
Ward 6 would be a nail biter, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we had when Jerry Ryan was first elected to Ward 4, that was, I think, 16 votes initially.
Yeah, that was also a recount. They did on that one.
Was recounted. And then we had one that was even closer after that. and I forget which one it was. It was like 4 votes or something.
Well,
like
the
that.
it was about the 2013 one was Ward 6 race was about, I think it was 12 or 13 votes in that one.
Okay.
And they did a recount, and I think the margin stayed the same, but each one of them picked up a vote or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
In 2013 and in 2015, the difference between 4 and 5 was really close in the at-large race.
Right.
I don't think we had any that were that close since then, but if I wanted to tab through all these spreadsheets, I could probably go back a ways and see. But
yeah.
I just remember 2019, and that was enough.
Right. Yeah.
That was a bit of a mess, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I was just trying to think. Yeah, that was my last election. So 2019 was my last one that I was stood in.
Oh, okay.
Because then I stepped down at the end of 2021.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was that one more term after that. But.
Well, I served the 2020 the 2020 to 2021.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what threw me off.
And then I pieced out. But
Yeah.
all right. Do we have any? No. Where are these numbers?
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things on the ballot in a way. I mean, we have Shetland Park on the ballot. Mm-hmm. We have Lifebridge on the ballot. Yep. So there are a lot of issues on the ballot, and those are a couple of big ones.
There's always a couple of big issues kind of overlying things, and I think there's a lot of this is something I said because as I'm currently on the planning board, and one of the things that we talked about very seriously after the 40R application for Lifebridge. We took that one. I can't say that everybody's happy or unhappy with what we recommended back to the city council or what they did.
Yeah.
But we as a group tried to look at it from a really practical standpoint, which is what if we don't approve this, what's the result?
Yeah.
And one of the things that came out pretty clear to us in that discussion was the result is they could probably do what they want through the Dover Amendment.
Okay.
So we should be.
And so can you explain the Dover Amendment?
Yeah, the Dover Amendment pretty much allows services, social and health services to be able to do things without having to get zoning approval.
Okay.
That's the reason why what was originally, so down at the old War II Social Club site, this is the best example of something that was done under that. They took, after the developer bought that site, they had proposed to build, I think it was like 20-something condos on the site.
Right, yeah, sure.
Bunch of townhouses. And everybody, and the ward councilor at the time, and a lot of people just said, no, that is way too much.
Yeah.
No way should that go on that site.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of working back and forth, and a lot of negotiation, and a lot of discussion, a lot of talk with the neighbors. And they eventually got it down to a proposal of it was going to be 8 condos on what was like more than an acre site.
Yeah.
So that it was most people thought it was fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, some of the people that were affected by it still decided that they had to fight it.
Yeah.
And they fought it. They took it through the court system. They lost. They didn't block them at any point, but they kept on going. And finally, the developer said, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build it as a sober house.
Yeah.
You can't stop me because the Dover Amendment says I can do this, and all I have to get is a building permit."
Right. Okay.
And that's what they got now.
Yeah.
And it's most of the neighbors would have rather had the townhouses, only 8 units, but
yeah, I was on the Conservation Commission when someone wanted to put in a sort of a high-end senior living facility on the Marblehead Salem line.
Oh yeah.
And because the people from Marblehead kept coming over and at our meetings and saying, "You need to stop this. You need to stop this. You need to stop this," because we had jurisdiction. I'm not exactly sure.
Was that the Lead Mill site?
It's actually on the opposite side.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and what ended up happening, and again, I was not on the Conservation Commission much after that, but my understanding is that the developer basically said, "Okay, fine," and they put in, they got a 40B, because obviously Marblehead is, because the site was partially in Marblehead, partially in Salem. They got a 40B, which is an exemption from a lot of the local laws based on the fact that you have less than 10%
Yes.
low income or housing. And so they ended up with something which I would have thought was much worse from their perspective because of the fact they were, so difficult to
Yeah.
thing. And one of the things, when I was running for Ward 4 City Councilor, and this was back in 2008,
Okay.
actually 2009 for 2007 for 2008.
Okay. So,
And
couple of cycles before I got
yeah,
into it.
yeah. There was a proposal to the public storage
Here
building.
comes some 1-1 numbers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Show up. And 1-1 is in. So in a massive shocker, we have 585 votes for Dominic Pengallo. Not that that's especially a big deal, but but 1-1, the numbers in are 377 for Jerslow, the incumbent, and 475 for Aaron Turowski, the challenger. So
Well,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I would say,
And here's our numbers for at large there. One precinct 1, that's the Willows and Derby Street and that whole area, is let's see, 508 for Przewski. Oh, and somebody's calling. 501
Hello?
for Merkel. 459 for
Hello?
Hapworth. 421 for Davis, and 277
Okay.
for Harvey.
okay, bye. Now, I just got a call from my wife, and she said that we can't see the names at this point in time. We can only see the numbers. Theoretically, this screen that we're looking at here is, we can see
Yeah,
the names here, but,
We can see, yeah, they're going to
Okay.
get put up.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Thank you for the phone call.
Yes, okay.
But they will be putting out, that's one thing, they'll be putting up the results live on the screen as we get them too.
Yeah, because
So,
the numbers are a little small to be able to
The
see. and
spreadsheet.
so, yeah.
I'll say, Patrick, is there any way we could put like a link to the spreadsheet up so people could see it?
It is up there.
No, I mean a link to it so people could bring it up on their own screens if they wanted.
It's on our Facebook.
Okay. So yeah, there is. If you're looking at this if you're, found out about this through Facebook, go onto the SATV Facebook page, and where they have the announcement of us doing this show, they also have a link to the spreadsheet. So you'll be able to see the stuff in real time.
Okay.
And we have the school committee results in, and as a major non-upset, all 3 contenders have won. Because
Okay.
we only have, sadly, as much as I like them, we only have 3 people competing for it.
Okay.
Oh, we have some Zooming opinion now, some Zooming assistants coming in.
Okay.
There we go. Do some scrolling,
Okay.
and now we'll put the spreadsheet on the screen. And
Okay, if we could just move
There we
it
go.
down a bit so we can see all 5 of the at-large candidates. Just, whoop, the other way. Okay, yeah, so we have the candidates here. We have Conrad, top vote getter.
by 7 votes, Alice.
Merkel, close behind. Ty Hapworth. And
Kyle Davis.
Kyle Davis, and then
John Harvey coming,
John Harvey.
bringing up the rear in that
Yeah,
one, and
yes.
1-1 with 277.
yeah, so that's
And if we go down to, well, I could do it from mine. 864 votes total in 1-1.
okay.
That's 1 down.
There is something with a percentage. Do we have that from
Here
there?
comes another call.
Okay. Hello.
The names are there, but they're cut up. They're cut right in half. You can only see part of their names. Goodbye.
Okay. Just a follow-up call. They can see the names, partially, but they're cut in half. So what we're seeing on our screen here, which theoretically should be what's going out, doesn't appear to be the case.
Well, it's close. I saw it, popped up on the screen before, so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
We'll see what we get. Let's see what the next one is.
Yeah, so any event, I was on the Conservation Commission at the time that I was running for, actually I wasn't running for Ward 4 at that time, so it was much earlier.
Okay.
I was contemplating it. Because at that time, Lenny O'Leary was still the
Yep.
one. I was going to challenge him.
Counselor
so
for
I was
life.
at this, it was a joint meeting between the Ward 4 committee and the Ward 2, or the Bridge Street, not the Bridge Street, the Federal Street Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
And they were fighting against public storage building, who wanted to build on that corner, which was looked like a bombed out site. And, so anything you put on there was improvement, but they wanted to do their typical purple and pink building. And of course, that didn't sit well with neighbors in either neighborhood. And they were going back and forth, and they were saying, look, by right we can do this and all that, and the neighbors are saying we're going to sue and everything like that. And I pointed out, I said, yes, that's true. You can build this by right. However, there's, I'm the Conservation Commission, and we just approved a storage facility on Highland Avenue, and there's another one coming before us in a different location. So they're gonna definitely be able to hold you up. And then I said to the neighbors, I said, eventually these people are going to be able to build. I mean, it's possible that you're going to stall them long enough that they give up, but if not, you're going to end up with this purple and pink building. So it would behoove both of you to come to some compromise where you're building a building that the neighbors like the look of. And that way there you can get it done quicker, and then the neighbors approve something that's reasonable that gives them some sort of thing to work with, because after all, we're not talking about a site that is what you call, we're not tearing down a historic site.
No.
Yeah. And they did, and they built a building that fit the character of Salem.
Yeah, it fit in better.
And definitely fit
And
in
better than their typical place. I can
Right,
give
yeah.
you a similar example, and,
Yeah.
and this gets into the same kind of construction issues. But now we're getting one precinct 2, so it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like probably they were somewhere in the 2.
And new council in Ward 1.
And we have a new councilor in Ward 1.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Erin Turowski. I know her fairly well, and I know she put in a ton of legwork to make this happen, and congratulations. So we have one new councilor for next year so far.
Yeah.
And let's see. Yeah, it looks like we had just about 200 people approximately come out in...
And 1, 2.
We'll see what that is in 1-2, which, I always want to see more, but that's over 1,000 people voting in Ward 1 in general, and that's not a bad number for a local election.
Yeah,
I wish people flip-flopped it, and I wish they all came out for the local election.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it affects them in a greater way
it does.
in many things.
Your day-to-day life
always
for most
surprising
people
to me.
is really big.
Yeah.
So let's see. So in the at-large side, and we'll get back to the this turnover here. But on the at-large side, we have let's see. Alice Merkel has 136 votes in 1-2, taking that. Then Kyle Davis was second with 127. Ty Hapworth with 111, Conrad Przniewski with 98, and John Harvey with 66.
Okay, so at this point in
So
time...
so far, no upsets shaping up so far, but we'll see what comes in on the other wards.
Yeah.
So stuff's getting interesting. In the school committee, all 3 people won.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
So when I first was coming in after I had won election in 2011 was when CVS came in to propose their building that they built on the land they got from the Bertinis over on Canal Street.
Yeah.
And they came in with one of their boxes.
Yeah.
it would have looked just like the one on Highland Avenue that's closed now.
Right, right.
If they had done it. And the neighbors worked, I'll give credit, the neighbors worked really well. I worked hard. The counselor I replaced worked hard on it.
Yeah.
Everybody pitched in to make sure that they would do something that fit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big challenges in any kind of project. And you get it to the you get to a question like LifeBridge, like we were talking about at the beginning of this. And so LifeBridge is here. They're in Salem. They're not going to be leaving, even though some people would probably prefer they left.
Yeah.
We're not going to be getting them out of here. They do provide a valued service. There are issues sometimes with how they deliver it. There are people who they don't service, but they get kind of tarred with the same brush because you've got people who hang out outside and aren't using their services, but are still there, and so it goes. But there's a lot of issues. There's neighborhood impacts. There's all the rest.
Yeah.
So, what do? Do you continue with a situation like it is because they're not going to be leaving, or do you come to something that, okay, this can be managed, this can be done better, we can try and get into a better situation. And one of the thing about that project that to me was one of the things that I looked forward to is the supportive housing. What they want to do, getting people out of homelessness, and turning them in. Like, you live in one of these little apartments and you have a job, you're doing things, you're moving forward, and I think that's really valuable. Okay, so we have some other numbers coming in. Ward 5, Precinct 1. Let's see. We have in the Ward 5 councilor race. Something I'm glad I'm not doing anymore. We have 360 for Lydia King and 239 for Zach Calderon. And then going down to the at-large race, let's see. Again, Merkel tops the ticket for that one, for 5-1, which is the southern precinct of the southern precinct of Ward 5. That's the end closer to Salem State. 379 for Merkel, 369 for Przewski, and that's his home precinct. So there you go. Davis 341, Hapworth 328, and Harvey 173. And then 5-2, which is mine. Let's see what those numbers look like. We have, again at the at-large, we have Merkel leading that one with 300, followed by Przewski with 264. Oh, no, sorry, by Davis with 280, 264 for Przewski, 256 for Hapworth, and 140 for John Harvey.
Okay.
And then scrolling up a little bit, let's see. And that one, and King also takes 5-2, so she takes the seat with 275 to 179 in that one, and takes the seat overall 60% to 39%.
Okay.
So that's our new ward council, our new Ward 5 councilor, Lydia King.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And that replaces Jeff Cohen.
Who served 2 terms after replacing me and letting me retire.
Yeah, okay.
So now we get farther and farther away from those days.
Right, yes.
All right. This is kind of fun seeing these come ticking in. Let's see what those numbers were. So, and the final, the turnout number, 31% in Ward 1, Precinct 1, which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
10% in Precinct 2, which is, honestly, it's not terrible. Again, like
typical.
I said, I would like to see.
Yeah, it is typical.
We've had contests where there were even fewer. We've had under 200 turnout sometimes. So I would love to see more on a regular basis. And I know a lot of candidates have worked to try and increase that number, and it's just really difficult.
Yeah.
It's too bad because the more people turn out, the more of a voice you have, and it's a message I will always try and reinforce.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I'm on pins and needles looking for whatever the next one is.
Yes. Well, at this point in time, I mean, last time around, the Kyle Davis defeated incumbent Domingo Dominguez. And so you look at, just as a rule of thumb, you would think of him being the weakest link going into this race. The other people have all been there for a while and have established themselves. He's the newcomer, and he hasn't.
But now he has, well, in this case,
Yeah.
now he has incumbency behind him, and
Right.
although John Harvey has been a city councilor for the
Right,
last
but he
2
doesn't have
years,
incumbency.
he is,
But
he's been a ward councilor.
Yeah, and so Kyle Davis is very strongly, in fact, actually, I think he's in third place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not even in fourth.
Yeah,
And,
there are a
it
few votes
almost-
apart.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah. So he definitely has built up, something other than the.
yeah, something else I'll point out is Ward 5 is one of the the wards that tends to vote the farthest to the progressive side. That's kind of that's how they've operated historically.
Yeah.
So they don't have super high turnout, but they do reasonably well.
Okay.
But they do tend to vote for the most progressive candidate in almost every circumstance. So that's a pretty natural constituency for
Okay.
Kyle.
Yeah.
If you look back at the, you look back at one is also a couple of smaller neighborhoods aside. Ward 1 also tends to vote relatively left.
Okay. See, I always thought
Two,
of one. as
three,
being-
four, and are the ones that tend to vote the farthest the most on the conservative side.
Huh, three, really? I thought I know four.
Four, yeah,
it was,
four
I thought
definitely.
it was 4 and 6.
6 is kind of a mixed bag.
Okay.
I've seen in
Yeah.
recent years. Some of that may be some demographic changes. That may
Yeah.
be a few other factors.
Yeah.
but-
Okay.
And then Ward 7 doesn't bother voting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they don't do this time. But
Right. Yeah.
so with two wards in, just to reiterate. We have a new ward councilor in Ward 1, Erin Turowski, in her debut wins Ward 1, and we have Lydia King winning the open seat in Ward 5.
Yeah. And again, we had turnover in 1. I mean, Ward 5 was going to have a new, a non-incumbent because the incumbent was not
So
running.
we'll have we'll have 6 new
defeated
councilors,
incumbent
as it
in the-
turns out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's quite a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my biggest question was what was going to happen in 1, since all the other 5 were
Right.
definitely going to hit it.
Yeah. In 1999, which was the year I first ran for at large, there were 5 new people elected that year.
Yeah.
On the city council out of the 11. So. There
Yeah,
was
we
quite
had
a bit of
3 in
turnover.
my first election. 3 new people, myself, Todd Siegel, who served 2 terms, and Kevin Carr, who served 1 term.
Right. Yeah.
After coming over from the school committee.
Yeah, I served with Kevin
Yep.
on the school committee for 2 years.
Yeah, and so he came over, and then I think at this point there will be at least one of these people. I'm just looking here at my stuff. There's 2 people who came on in 2019, and I believe that they will both probably remain on with Hapworth and Przewski.
Right.
And other than that, there's nobody who's been there longer.
Huh. Okay.
Even if should Tim Flynn win, come back to the
Right, he
seat that
only
he used to
served 2
have,
terms. He will
he
only-
served 2 terms,
Right.
but he's been gone for 2 terms as well.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
there's not. It's interesting to see how much turnover we've had.
Right, because, Lenny was on, Lenny O'Leary, Ward 4 City Council, was there for
Yep.
30 years. Kevin Harvey was on it for 20 years. Yeah, there was just,
Well, and then the year I left, the term before I left in 2019 was when Tom Fury stepped down
okay, yeah,
in the 2019 election, and then he'd been around for
yeah,
the better part of 20 years.
Yeah, and then,
Artie Sargent and I left the same year.
now he was there 18 years.
Yep, I was there 10. He was
Yeah.
there 18, and
Yeah.
then Bob McCarthy stepped down after the 2023
He was there
election.
18 years, yeah. Wasn't it?
16, I think it was.
16?
Yeah,
Okay.
16.
Okay,
Because he was, yeah, that's right. He was there 4 years when I started, and then
Okay.
he was the guy who showed me the ropes, basically.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
So he was there for 4 years before I got on, and then 2 years, he stayed 2 years after.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
So
see.
who was it Cynthia that replaced him?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So she replaced him in the last election.
Right. Okay.
And then I'm just looking to see it. I have a text that the graphics on SATV were very clear. Way to go, guys. I love getting texts and phone calls in the middle of this. It's
Right. Yeah.
kind of the fun part.
Yeah. So
And Adam came in to, so we can't pan a camera over. Adam came in to man the computer.
right. Yes. So that we can get the graphics up there.
He's used to doing this during city council meetings, so this is just a, this is just not a big deal, so.
Yeah, so the key thing is this, in terms of, like you said, at the CVS there that we built at corner of Jefferson Ave and Canal Street, is, to, present to both sides the reality. And the reality is the neighbors can fight against it.
Yep.
But ultimately, there's a good chance they're going to lose. And when they lose, they end up with their worst nightmare. Their
Exactly.
only hope is, and that's a lot of times this is what they fight for, they hope to be so much of an obstacle that the developer just says, forget it. But that doesn't always work. And if it doesn't work, it's going to be even worse because the developer's going to say, I owe nothing to these people.
Yeah,
So the thing is this, if they get in there early and say, look, we accept the reality that this is going to happen, but we'd like to have it, be there. But, it's not just developers.
Nope.
The state. The
Well, it's pretty
parking
much
garage
anything.
that we have from MBTA.
Yep.
I just don't think it fits the character of Salem at all.
But remember what they started with.
It doesn't
There was a
matter.
lot of stuff through the permitting process
Yeah.
that they changed, that they enhanced, that
Yeah.
they added the brick. They did a lot of things to try and make it look a little more in character within the fact that it's a garage.
Right, but
it's
they-
a big building that holds cars,
But they built
and
the
they're
garage-
spending a lot of money to build it, and they're leaving money, so do
But they
spend-
built the garage at the same time in Beverly, which
Yep.
fits the character of Salem, I would think.
Well, they had to squeeze that one into a bunch of buildings, so
Well,
it's a much
okay.
smaller garage too. because
Okay,
they-
well, in other words,
But yeah, no, I
the
get
same
that. I get
design-
that.
In other words, the same design that they used for the Beverly one would have worked better than the Salem one, I think.
Yeah, it would have worked better from an appearance standpoint, but they also needed to accommodate more cars because it's a
Yeah.
bigger.
Okay.
Well, Salem is the busiest stop north of Boston,
Right, I understand, yeah.
and so they had to deal with that and
Busier than
the
Lynn?
demand.
It's busier than Lynn?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that it was north of Lynn. I didn't realize it was actually busier than Lynn.
Yeah, no, north of Boston.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, 2 is starting to come in.
Okay.
Okay, and so Ward 2, Precinct 1, we have Andrew Smith, 357, and Bill Legault, 267. They were only separated by a couple of votes in the prelim, so this will
Right,
be
yes,
interesting.
yes.
And now something I'm going to give, before we get into these, I'm going to give, Canada's talking about what we've been talking about, I'm going to give John Harvey some very strong props for something. So when Popeyes came in last year, and I heard that they're going to finally start building that new site during the course of this winter, they came in to put a location across the street from Market Basket in the landscaping supply, the landscaping shop.
right, okay, yeah.
So they went through the permitting process, and there were a lot of neighborhood issues. A lot of people came out, and John did something that I give him a lot of props for. He proposed in one of the meetings, said, like, let's get the developer and the lawyer and the neighbors, and let's all go meet on the site and take a look and see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
And see if we can come up to see if we can make everybody happy. And they worked hard, and they did it.
Okay.
Oh, we have the full, and so we have 3 ward. Well, to cut to the chase, is Andrew Smith will be our new Ward 2
City
councillor.
Councilor.
That vote was 260. Well, the total vote was 734 to 611, about 55% to 45%.
Yeah.
It was closer in Ward 2 Precinct 2 than it was in Precinct 1.
Okay.
And for the at-large,
Yeah, I mean, again, John Harvey's running a distant fifth.
yep. Alice Merkel takes that one.
Yeah,
And so far, she's leading overall with 24% of the vote.
yeah,
But she takes 500 for Merkel, 435 for Hapworth, 367 for Davis, and 365 for Przewski, with 257 for Harvey bring up the rear. And
we also have
in
Ward 5.
2-1, yeah, we have that one already. We had that one.
5.
We had 5 already.
Oh,
so,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yes, we did. Okay. Yeah.
And then in 2-1, we have 450 for Merkel, again leading, 428 for Hapworth in second, 406 for Davis in third, and 354 for Przewski in fourth, with 187 for Harvey. So now we're looking at more like what you would have probably expected as these numbers are coming in from some of the other wards. If you look at the way the percentages are mapping out, your 4 incumbents are clustered relatively close together.
Yeah.
24.4% for Merkel leading everybody. Hapworth's at 21.7. Ward 2 is his home ward, so he's going to be strong there. Przewski at 21.1 and 20.9 for Davis in fourth. So
Yeah, so the Merkel's a little bit ahead. And that is typically when you have a...
she topped the ticket last time out.
Right, yes, yeah, yeah.
And I'm not sure, there's people who don't vote for her, but I'm not sure there's anybody in Salem who doesn't like her.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, she's been in our neighborhood cleaning up the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
It's just what she does.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't answer about any other neighborhood, but I know my neighborhood, I've seen her more than once up there.
I joked with her earlier this year, but I'm not sure if it's a joke or if it's serious. I said, I figured it out. I said, Alice, you are one of a group of identical octuplets, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's 8 of you. Yeah. And there's always like, which Merkel octuplet are you today?
Right, yes, yeah, okay.
They must all be wordplay on the word Alice, but they're all, that's the only way she could be as many places as she actually is at the same time. It's either that or she defies physics by teleporting. I'm not sure which, but
yeah.
I mean, you used to sell a lot of comic books, so you know about that stuff.
That's true, that's true. Sort of a staple in the comic book industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought more than a few there. That was where I went back in the days when people actually read magazines and stuff. That was where I went for all my,
that was
all my technology magazines and a lot of my comic books.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was the thing that really changed for Red Lion was when smartphones became just so commonplace. I mean, it was just the type of thing where print sales just went down the tubes. I mean, and it was a big physical part of my business and a big financial part of my business. But yeah, print sales. I mean, that's why
the margins were pretty good on that stuff back in the day. So
yeah, and Borders, big company, well respected, couldn't survive.
Well, I know what I can tell you right now what they did wrong. The big thing that they screwed up. They decided that they weren't going to be an internet company. They outsourced all their internet stuff to Amazon.
Ah, okay. That didn't work out too well for them.
Yeah. How'd that work out?
Yeah. So the thing is this. I mean, it just I mean, you see book sales, and I mean, a lot of books don't come out as books. They come out as e-books.
Yep.
So it's it was just a tough environment, and that was one of the things that led to my downsizing was the fact that print, which was such a big physical portion of my store, was just no longer viable.
And I'm like in that bridge generation in a sense because I have a Kindle.
Yeah.
I have books I load on a Kindle. Yeah. I still greatly prefer to do it the old-fashioned way.
Right. Yeah.
I went running downtown today to pick up the new book from Colin Woodard. He's a historian and basically a cultural anthropologist and historian who writes about America mostly and about regional cultures and also fascinating guy. And he has a new book that I just found out from seeing a post by the bookstore downtown, Wicked Good, that they had his new book and he was going to be signing them.
Yeah.
So he had given a message that he said he'd probably be there around midday or something. 'Cause he was doing a signing and speaking appearance in Belmont tonight.
Okay, yeah.
So I went down there figuring about 3, 4 o'clock, figuring, okay, I'll go pick up one of them. And I walk in and they have the books, and it turned out like he hadn't come yet. I'm like, well, I wanted the book anyway. So I went and I bought the book, and as I'm turning to go out, he came in to sign them.
You got a signed copy. Very
You can't
good,
get a signed ebook.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true.
All right, so for Precinct 1, the Tim Flynn comeback tour, it's pretty close so far.
Yeah.
288 for Emmy Lou Manuel and 251 for former Councilor Flynn.
So
That's very interesting.
Emmy
That's-
Lou
that's close.
is in the lead, but within striking distance.
Yeah,
for-
they're both.
for Tim Flynn.
So Ward 4, Precinct 1, let's see. Przewski leads that one, followed by Merkel. And then Harvey and Davis tie at 253 votes and 242 for Hapworth in fifth.
And of course, that is.
So it doesn't
John
really
Harvey's
affect the
home
overall
ward.
numbers too much, other
Right,
than
yeah.
that so far Hapworth and
Yeah.
Przewski now flip slightly.
Yeah.
We'll see. And Flynn, looks like Flynn gets the seat with 287 to 226 in the other precinct.
And they're reasonably
So
close.
that's very close.
Yeah, we're talking about 25 votes difference,
Yeah.
give or take.
24 vote difference. That's very, very
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
And then in 4-2, it's 310 for Przewski, again leading with Harvey 299 in second. And then we have 247 for Merkel, 215 for Davis, and 204 for Hapworth.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's historically in his 3 terms so far, that's been his weakest
Yeah.
his weakest ward, and it continues to be.
Okay. And at this point in time,
Very close race there.
Yeah, we know who the mayor is,
Yeah, we got that figured out.
and we know who the school committee is.
We know who the Ward 7 councillor will be.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have the 4 incumbents at large. I mean, it would be hard.
Looks very likely.
Yeah, with there's a, I'm not sure what we're talking about, an 800 or 750 vote gap with just 4 with 3.
Yeah,
wards
I don't
left.
see, with
That's
3
yeah.
wards left, I don't see how that gets
Yeah,
overcome,
yeah, yeah.
especially given
So,
Ward 4.
yeah, so we're going to have, so it looks like, again, the 4 at-large incumbents have prevailed, and
I think we can
we've got
safely
new
predict
in Ward
that.
5, new in Ward 4, sort of, new in Ward 1, new in Ward 2, we're going to have a new in Ward 3, new in Ward 6. Yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of turnover there on the
6
city
seats
council.
turning over, although one will be somebody making a comeback.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm really eager to see the other ones.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we have 100% of the mayoral vote for Dominic Pangallo. So,
well, remember this, that
just remember, North Korea is best Korea.
at this point in time, we're not counting
Yeah.
any of the blanks or
No.
anything.
No, that comes out in the
yeah.
official count at the end.
Right.
but-
Yeah. This is not. Yeah. Just
I mean,
as a
it's-
reminder, we're going to come up with numbers here, but I mean, and they're
Also, we won't see the handful of mail-in ballots that were done
Right.
and absentee ballots.
Yeah.
Those are being counted at City Hall right now. What we're getting here, I believe, I'm not sure whether this is coming off the
I
board
think,
or if it's coming from the tape.
Oh, I think that what they do with the mail-in and those ballots is they actually bring them down to the precincts, don't they? And they get sent to the
Yeah, I'm not
machine.
sure. They
Yeah.
they feed them through
because
at the
clearly
end. But
with Ward 4, with only a 24 vote difference, I mean that could make a difference. I mean, none of the other races
yeah, if
do
they've
it.
already if we're working off the tape,
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
initial tape. But if it's anything that came in, at the end or anything that's dropped at City Hall, so it'd be interesting. it's not going to make a big difference any one way or another.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It'll just be interesting to see how it reflects on some of the final results.
Right, okay.
I don't think
As I
it's-
say, I just think in Ward 4 is close enough that it
It's
possibly could, no? I'm not sure.
not
how many
likely.
Okay,
I mean, stranger things happen, but
okay,
I don't think it's super likely.
okay, okay.
But we'll see. That's
So now we're waiting on the results in Wards 3, 6, and 7, although,
oh, with the
Seven,
at-large
we really-
results, we
yeah.
know about 7.
yeah,
but-
yeah. And again, again, at this point in time, it would be a shocker for Ward 4 Councilor John Harvey to make up the 750 vote deficit that he has between himself and the fourth place. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, it's not, I mean, stranger things have happened, but
correct.
it's not likely.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Because again, like you said, 800 votes is a lot to make up. And
Yeah.
it looks like really wards 2 and 5 were big hindrances to him
Yeah.
in that.
I mean, also 1. I mean,
1-1 was, 1-2
Yeah.
didn't make much difference, but
Right.
1-1 was
well, not in terms of raw numbers, but you basically got twice as many votes.
Yeah, I'll say one thing also.
Yeah.
I've said this many times
Yeah.
in many circumstances, but it's the three words of politics:
Yeah.
signs don't vote.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
They do demonstrate organizational competence.
Right, yes.
Like you've been able to draw enough money to be able to pay for signs.
Yeah.
You have your act together enough to be able to figure out
Where
who
to
would
put 'em.
like a
Oh,
sign,
yeah, and
where to
get
put
'em,
them,
yeah.
and such.
Yeah.
So it just proves that you're serious, but it doesn't
Right. Yeah.
you could have 20 signs to your opponent's 100
Yeah.
and win.
Right.
Because that's not the deciding factor
Yeah.
at all.
Yes. Yeah. And we've seen that in the past.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There. One thing I'll say, and I've ranted about this before, so I apologize for, but the sign. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the sign season starts earlier and earlier every
Okay.
cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, hate it.
Yeah.
They're weeds, political weeds.
Okay. See, I actually thought there wasn't that much out there this time around.
Not as many because there are not as many seriously contested races.
Okay, yeah.
But
Well, it just seemed like, in other words, with so many, I mean, like normally you have a pretty entrenched incumbent in a
Yeah.
ward, and this time here, because you had so many new faces,
Yep.
that I just expected to have more signs out.
yeah, I started seeing signs in April.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And-
yeah,
And every one of them made me
yeah, yeah.
shiver a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not more signs. I just hope they all get picked up tomorrow. Win or lose, I hope they all get picked up tomorrow. Don't want to see any signs
That was
again
the
for a
one thing I
while.
was very good at, picking them up on
Yeah.
the night after right after the election night. I was out there
Oh,
picking up my
I spent
signs.
the day I would spend the day after an election driving around and picking them all up and throwing
Yeah.
them in the back of my truck and
Yeah.
hauling them out of there. It was glorious the day I got them. I cleared out all but a couple of souvenir signs out of my basement. It felt really good to get those. Gave a bunch of them to a friend who used them for arts materials and just cut them up the plastic to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's good to see get some actual reuse out of them. And
Right, right.
since you can't recycle that kind of plastic, I found out the hard way.
Yeah. See, actually, I had paper signs. Even though they had switched to those, I had a paper sign. That was what I had been using, and that's what I continued to use.
So I'll go back in time to the last contested election I ran in, which was 2017,
Yeah.
when Polly Wilbert ran against me.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk for some reason online that all these people had red signs to show that they were lined up with the mayor. So I'm like, no, red signs are because the primary colors are cheap.
Okay. Yeah.
Doing two-color signs is more expensive.
Right, right.
We're all cheap.
Yeah.
We're not going to blow our money on photos and signs and
Right,
stuff
right,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We're just, pick a color that people are going to notice.
See, I put photos of my sign because so many people.
Well, you do it on paper. It's a little
Right,
less
yeah.
expensive that way.
Yeah, and so many people knew me by sight that
Yeah.
didn't know my name because
Yeah.
they would come into my store.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
the guy who sits out in front with a cigar.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that was, so that was, what I took advantage of, my, not name recognition.
Yeah, and there's
but
places like
visual
that. People
recognition.
know you, they know who you
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
and that's a legitimate way of doing things, of branding yourself too.
Yeah.
For me, it was I looked at the colors that were available at the lowest price.
Right, yeah.
And you could do red, you could do green, you could do blue, and I said, okay, Salem. What is Salem? Let's see. Salem High School colors are black and red.
Yeah.
So I do one of these, and so I did a little A/B test.
Yeah.
When I had my bumper stickers made, the friend of mine who had a print shop who made them for me, he ran off a batch in black and he ran off a batch in red.
Yeah.
And I saw what people would want.
Yeah.
And they went with the red one. So I was like, okay, red's my color.
Okay. Yeah.
It was, it was not the most scientific A/B test one would run,
Also,
but
red is probably the most common color for
yeah, it tends to be.
anyways. Yeah.
It tends to be, and red, green, blue are all fairly common, but,
Right. But
more
red
so in different towns.
shows up
Yeah.
best, and that's why you
Exactly. You
choose
see it going by. You pick
yeah.
a color that people are going to see because
Right, yeah,
you're not
yeah.
doing it to not get noticed.
Right, yeah, yeah. And the reason why you take different colors is not so much that, but because everything is red, then sometimes becomes background.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a sign that's like, yellow and orange or whatever, now it stands out because it's not the normal colors, does it,
So I have had a friend who lived over on Bridge Street Neck.
Yeah.
They've since moved to another neighborhood, but they live on Bridge Street Neck, and in that election, they saw all the chatter about people saying there was a red sign conspiracy kind of thing. So they decided, they went to every candidate around the city who had a red sign, regardless of whether they liked them or not, pretty much. Like, can we have one of your signs just to make a point? So we all put their sign. I showed up one day and just put my sign in front of their house every day.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Other than that, I didn't really like to have signs outside of the ward. But
Right, yeah, yeah.
I've seen it's kind of, there was always a person over in Danvers, right near BJ's,
Yeah.
who always used to put out a Tom Fury sign.
Right, yes, yeah. That's correct. I was just about to say that. I used to see
Yeah,
one. and-
you see the Fury sign in
Yeah,
Danvers,
yeah,
the one
yeah.
Fury sign in Danvers.
Yeah.
I mean, his station wagon was the Fury sign, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it was just covered with them. Every window was covered with a sign.
Right,
I'm amazed
yeah.
he could see out of that car.
Right, yes. And when he replaced it, you know what he got?
Another Volvo.
A new version.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
The Fury-mobile.
Yes.
It's still one of the more distinctive cars in Salem.
Yeah.
But-
Because he got that big orange tape in the back. So
Yep.
he said there was so many cars that looked similar that he said he couldn't find them in a parking lot. So he put this big reflective tape on the back so that he could make sure, see it was his.
I do love a good Tom Fury story. I remember the day after the last meeting of the year, most years the councilors would all go someplace to have a drink and
Right, yeah.
just chill out a little bit at the end of the season.
Right.
And I remember one time, I don't remember where we all went that night, but I remember I was showing him a picture on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And this, Tom, Mr. Nunn Technology.
Yeah.
And I handed him the iPhone to do stuff, and he knew exactly what to do with the thing.
Okay.
He knew what he was doing.
Okay. So maybe he's a...
He just didn't like doing it.
Yeah.
But I explained that to people it's not that he can't do technology.
Oh, right.
He just prefers not to.
Yeah.
And, he's at the point in his career where he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He was still the one guy to go in and get his packet at the city clerk when it was getting emailed to all the rest of us.
Oh, okay.
He just liked doing it that way.
Yeah.
And it was all wonderful.
Well, then you can read it. I would have done it myself.
Yeah, what I used to do is I mostly took the PDF of it and I would read it, scroll through it on my
Right,
iPad for the night before or something and read everything. And
Yeah.
I was pretty good at preparation. Oh, it looks like 7-1. We're getting those numbers with hardly any turnout, unfortunately. But 7-1. All right, no major changes there, but fairly close for everybody. 7-1, Przniewski takes first there, followed by Merkel, Davis, And then Harvey and Hapworth. Harvey and Hapworth separated by 1 vote, 116 to 115. And that one.
Actually, they're all quite close.
Oh, yeah, they're all close,
Yeah,
but-
between the top and the bottom.
Yeah, it's only like
37 votes.
30-something.
Yeah.
And then we're getting, it looks like the overall turnout in 7, unfortunately, was really low.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
if you're
again-
looking at, even with there, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of blanks.
The only thing in 7 that was there was at
The
large.
at-large, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. So unless you had a candidate that you really were strongly in favor or strongly
Exactly.
opposed to,
Not a lot of motivation for
there's
people,
not a lot of
unfortunately.
motivation to go out there. Yeah. And do they vote? They vote at Middle Campus or what?
Yeah,
Middle
Central Campus, Central
Yeah.
Campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they vote the Enterprise Center there.
Yeah.
Not exactly an upset on the screen here.
Yeah.
Oh, and here come the 7-2 numbers.
Yeah.
It's a little better turnout-wise for 7-2. Again, Conrad takes 178 to lead that one, followed by Merkel, Davis, Hapworth, and then Harvey.
Yeah.
So that's
So really the races we're waiting for now are
Just Ward 6 and Ward 3.
and Ward 6, and
Yeah.
there's going to be a new councillor in each of those wards.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see, because again, in terms of, although it's still mathematically possible for John Harvey to crack into the at large, it's very improbable. So at this point,
Yeah, I'll say, I
two
thought-
things left, and we're talking
I said, based on my
700 votes.
Based on my
difference,
limited
basically.
experiences with him, I thought he was a pretty effective Ward 4 councillor.
Yeah,
If he'd stayed, it probably stayed where he was. It probably would have been a fairly
Yeah.
easy return.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But he thought he could go for more, and I respect his choice
Yeah,
to try and
yeah.
do that. That's it takes a little bit of courage to jump out and go for something that you
Yes.
go out of your sort of comfort zone in that sense.
Right.
Oh, looks like we're starting to get 6 results. I just saw the magic cursor move.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. I did see that.
Yeah. We're just here on pins and needles waiting for the rest of the results to come in.
Yes. Now, in the past, I mean, I'm not sure, like 4 or 5 election cycles, I interviewed the challenges, and my argument was, well, first 2 things. It was too time-consuming to interview everyone.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
The incumbent, they have a voting record.
They have a platform.
Right, they have a voting record.
People know 'em.
People can say, okay, they voted this way, they voted that way.
Oh, here comes
So-
3-1.
Okay.
Okay, so in 3-1, it's Sidoriak with 258 and Doherty with 107. So that's a 140-odd vote margin to try and make up.
Yeah, yeah.
141 votes to be, or sorry, 151 votes to try and make up if he, and we'll see where that goes. And
Yeah.
then here comes the at-large. And shout out again to Dustin Luca and the people who are helping him with this and getting him
Yeah,
results and
yeah.
stuff. Dustin's been doing a tremendous job with this for a bunch of years now, and even though he left the Salem News a couple of years ago, he's still doing
Yes,
this for us.
that's right. I remember, last cycle I was saying, oh, really, you're still doing that? Because, it's not part of his job anymore. Before it was part of his job in a way.
And when it was part of his job, he was living in Beverly, but now he lives here, so.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. So. Yes, I didn't have much. I mean, I used to. I dealt with Tom Dalton
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But
Yep. He was there my
not
first
much-
few years.
Not much with Dustin Luker. It was only a little bit towards the end there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and here comes the 3-1 at-large results. We have Merkel leads that one with 254, 240 for Hapworth, 235 for Presnewski, 226 for Davis, and 135 for Harvey. So again, no changes. What you're seeing a little bit is you're seeing a little flip-flopping
Yeah.
between Przewniewski and Hapworth at the. They've been flipping back and forth a few times
Yeah,
between the 3 and the
between-
4.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, between the 2 and the 3 spot.
Right.
And we'll see what those last couple.
Yeah, and
affect.
actually, right now, it looks like Conrad has widened the gap there, and it's
No, see, there's
more
here we
like
go. Now it's
it's sort of like a
So-
race for 3rd and 4th.
and Sidoriak takes Ward 3, 191 in precinct 2 to 126 for Kevin Doherty.
Yeah, pretty
And
solid
then-
win for Sidoriak.
Solid win for both first-time candidates.
Yeah.
So, and then, let's see.
So now we have Ward 6 is last
Ward
on the
6 is the
table.
last one to come in. And so, just to reiterate there.
And Ward 6 typically has been a high voter turnout ward.
And in let's see, 3-2, yep, that's Merkel, Przewniewski, Davis, and Hapworth and Harvey.
Okay.
So we're down to 1 ward to go.
Yeah.
Can you stand the tension? This one will be really interesting because, as you may recall, Bob ran 2 cycles ago
In Ward
in
3.
Ward 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this time around, he moved, right? You don't think he was redistricted?
No, I mean, I don't know what
Yeah,
the
he
district is,
moved.
but
They don't
they're not
abut. They don't
abutting.
abut. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
so
to-
even
I had
if
to
they
run the
redist-
map in my head for a second
yeah,
there.
yeah. I was saying, even if they redistricted,
Yeah.
that one there. So
He
must have
could have
moved
been
from one to the-
redistricted to 4 or something from 3, but
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
it wouldn't
yeah.
have been, or 2, but I don't remember how that handed off at the, because the last election that I paid close attention to, because it was the one to replace me,
Right.
that was the one before the redistricting, because
Okay.
that happens. It happened when I won in 2011. Then the whole area from West Ave down to the Marblehead line was added to Ward 5 as part of that redistricting.
And they came from
had
Ward
voted, but they hadn't voted in Ward 5 in the previous election, but I inherited them as part of things,
Right,
as part of
right,
that
yeah.
shift.
And they had been previously in Ward 7.
Yeah, they were in Ward 7. It was both. It used to be that Loring Ave, West Ave was pretty much the dividing line, and then
Right,
they changed it.
Yeah.
So they went down Lafayette Street and down that whole neighborhood down there. So
Yeah.
and they've had a couple. The most interesting thing was I'm not sure if it is still. I know most of Bridge Street Neck is now Ward 2, because it used to be that a decent chunk of it was Ward 6.
Okay.
Pretty much everything to the train tracks was so.
Right, yes, yes.
So the Jefferson, whatever it's called now, the apartment complex was Ward 6. Everything on the other side of the train tracks, that little peninsula over there, that was Ward 6.
I thought that was Ward 2, because I remember...
I think it is now.
I think it was back then, because
So it's-
I know that, at least if it wasn't Ward 2, it was
It
dead on
might
the
have
line.
become, it might have become Ward 6 in that redistricting in
Yeah.
2011,
Okay.
but it was Ward 6 the whole time I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know in Regina Flynn was the Ward 2 city
Yeah,
councilor. And I forget the guy's name, McIntyre ran against him.
Yes.
And he was an abutter to the Jefferson property.
Yeah, and it's right on the other side of
And
that it
he was
became
running
Ward
in
2.
Ward 2, so it must have been right on the
Yeah.
line, because he was on the next street
Yeah.
over from it, because...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jefferson itself,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if it was built in Ward 6, it was Ward 6 during my
Okay,
terms. So,
Yeah.
because that was one of the little, I'm probably giving away some trade secret, but that was one of the things that during the campaigns when Beth Gerard was in there, that was a real focus for her, working that property
Okay.
to try and draw out those voters.
I see.
Because it was sort of a neglected space,
Right, right,
or
okay.
neglected area. Everybody sort of assumed it was Ward 2, more or less. So,
Right, okay.
so she worked that pretty hard during her time in office. It might have been what carried her. So,
Yeah.
oh, and here we go. So, Ward 6, Precinct 1 is in, and that one's not terribly close.
Correct.
Caitlin Jalapa, another first-timer, has taken 70.1%, 347 to 148. So almost 199 votes margin there.
Okay.
And then 6, let's see, and that results there is Merkel, Davis, Hapworth, Prznuski, and then Harvey. And now we're getting, okay, and Caitlin Jalapa takes with enormous margin, 73% of the overall vote.
Yeah, I'm a little
363 to
surprised at the margin.
114 and 6-2. I'll say she was working it really hard from
Yeah.
pretty much day one.
Okay. I know that in the past, and again, I'm
And then
not much as much in the loop as I had been.
Yeah.
But I know that in the past, Bob had always worked, pretty hard.
Yep.
So as I say, I'm a little surprised at
And so
at the
here's
margin.
here's the interesting thing with the tentative final margins here. Your 4 incumbents at large do win, as we thought would happen. Alice Merkel has again topped the ticket. Konrad Prznuski comes in with 3,880 votes in second place at 21.6%, and effectively Hapworth and Davis are tied.
Yeah, 1.1 vote.
With a
difference.
1 vote difference.
Yeah.
So that 1 vote margin comes in and comes to play once again, although it's not the difference
Right,
between who gets a
it's
seat and who
somewhat-
doesn't.
Yeah, it's just so who can.
So, and
That's
then,
the other one, right.
in this, for what little bit of significance this may have, amongst the school committee vote, incumbent Beth Ann Cornell got 37.6% to be the
Yeah.
first finisher there. And then Meg Stott, who had been an incumbent in Ward 6 and stepped down
Yeah,
in order to run for
yeah,
school committee,
yeah.
took 32.3% of the vote. And Yamali Bias took 30.1% of the vote, which tells you basically there were blanks and there was some name recognition factor
Right,
there
yeah,
too,
yeah.
because since there were only 3 candidates, there were blanks involved
Yes,
in that
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
So, and 19% total turnout, which is not terrible. Not what I would have liked,
Yeah.
but it's really not terrible. If you look down, if you look at the various other wards here and those final turnout numbers, we had very low turnout in Ward 7. I don't think it would have made any real difference in any of these races.
Right, yeah.
If we'd had higher
Ward
turnout.
3 is pretty low turnout.
But only 11% in Ward 7, which drags down the overall number.
Only, in Ward 3, you're talking about what, 14, 15%?
Yeah, Ward 1, Precinct 1, give yourselves a pat on the back. You had
Yeah.
the highest turnout in the city. 31% of you
Ward
came out.
2 overall averaged the
Ward
highest.
2 did very
Yeah.
good. 23%
Almost half of the
to 1.
people voted
24.
there.
And Ward 4 did fairly well, and Ward 5, 5-1 turned out a little better than they usually do.
Yeah, okay.
I tell you, 5-2 turned out only 18%. They tend to be a little lower and it's a little smaller on the turnout side.
Okay, yeah.
But my wife and I both voted, and that's our precinct, so it's not our fault.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
Darn straight I am. And
Okay.
there you go. So we have
Very
a total
good.
of
So we have all these-
6,835 ballots counted.
And again, these again are not official. Not much is
But they're
going to
pretty
change.
close to official.
Right, and not much is going to change because there's only one close
Yep.
race. Not counting who finishes 3rd and 4th or
Yeah.
whatever, because they will both be seated. But the only close race is Ward 4.
Yeah, and
only
that-
25 votes difference.
Yeah.
So that's that's the only one that is that even has a potential for having an issue.
Yeah, and if the margin remains this, then it's almost certainly not worth the bother and money to do a recount on
right,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not going to have any real...
Yeah, because the
Impact.
recount picks up 1 or 2 votes.
Yeah.
Sometimes loses 1 or 2 votes. So you're not going to see 25 votes there.
No,
So,
that's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
going to be that's not going to be a major
Yeah.
deal.
So the thing is this. Clearly, then the percentages are going to change because we're like Andrew Varela got 100% of the vote. Well, he didn't get 100% of the vote.
No, he did. I'm
he got
sure he beat the
100% of all
blanks.
those people who did vote.
Yes.
But of the people who actually checked off a block, but there were a lot of people who put in blanks.
Yep.
And so therefore, those type of numbers will
Yep.
change as well. But in terms of getting the results of who wins and who doesn't, this is the most efficient way of doing it. I mean,
Yep.
we can be wonky and determine how many, people
Actually,
voted.
we can see
and
how many. I can see some of this here because of the final ballot count. So
Right.
just for instance, in Ward 7,
Yeah,
there were about 70 blanks in the ward race.
yeah,
For 7-2, and in 7-1, there were about 70 blanks.
okay, yeah.
So you beat the blanks. That's part of the
Right.
battle.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I remember Ward 7 council a lot of years, Joe O'Keefe.
Yep, beat the blanks.
Yeah, because he often ran unopposed, and he said, as long as I beat the blanks, I'm happy,
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Beat the blanks, beat the write-ins, you're good.
yeah.
Oh, it's. He's been gone for 10 years now.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
That was a tough one, and it was a very weird election, and it was a very, very strange year that year.
The year he won, the 99?
Well, no, the year he passed away in
I see.
2015.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, anyways, thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah.
As I said at the beginning, I'm a host of Inside Salem. We run some local politics. We talk about some of the issues. We talk about a lot of the development issues and the school issues and things like that are upcoming in Salem. We try to go behind the scenes and stuff. The show's been running for 27 years, 28 years, actually. And
You were the lead host all that time, but you took it over well.
right, I took it over from the founder of the show, George Ahmed, and the last show was the last show of one of the original panel members, Jim Fleming, has announced that he's retiring from Inside Salem. So that's where we stand nowadays. But we try to do that. It runs on SATV. Typically Friday night is when the new episode airs.
You'll find some new people to sit in.
Yeah.
Probably drag me in once in a while or whatever. But
Yeah. So,
be good groups. Thank
Very
you all
good.
for tuning in, and we'll see what we have with this group for next year. It's been a very interesting election cycle, even though there haven't been a lot of seriously contested races. I was very surprised with how few people wound up pulling to get on the ballot and how many people dropped out in the process of getting to that point. But it's always fascinating to see what the local political situation is and what play another time for another year of what's the city council going to do.
exactly.
Thank you all for playing.
Thank you.